Beyond the Huddle, the FCA, Central Arkansas FCA podcast where faith meets competition. My name is Josh Ader. So glad to be here with you today to talk about ministry happening in and around Lonoke County. Actually, it happens in Prairie and Lonoke County with our guest today, Brendan Webb. So glad to have Brendan here. He's been on staff with us for a while. We'll get into some details and topics about that. He's on the screen right now. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see what that's about. But our co-host here is Zach Rose, and he's been sitting here driving for a long time, and he wanted me to sit behind the driver's wheel or proverbial driver's wheel and guide this conversation and talk about all the things that God has done in Brandon's life and ministry and different school campuses and how God's growing him, challenging him, and how we got here. So welcome. Glad that you're here. And so, Brandon, why don't we just start off with you? Why don't you tell us a little bit about your history, how long you've been married, what's your wife's name, kids, and why in the world, of all the opportunities in the world, are you working as an area representative with Fellowship of Christian Athletes?
All right. First of all, I want to say thank you so much for allowing me to come on here. It's been a time consuming of wanting to try to schedule to get on here, but just want to say thank you. Yes, I've been married for 17 years to my lovely bride, Brittany Webb. She recently came on here with Brother Zach over there. I think she did a good job.
She did a great job. That was a fantastic episode.
Yeah, it was. I got to sit outside and enjoy the wonderful fellowship that y'all did. I've got three awesome kids. Braden, he's 16. Briley and Brinley, they're twins. They're 13. So it's been a wonderful blessing for watching them grow. And why in the world I got on the FCA? Oh, man, it's been awesome because, let's see, a couple of years ago, I had my own lawn care business. It was successful and all that stuff, but I kept feeling this pull and this tug saying, there has to be more. God, there has to be more to do in ministry. Okay. Yeah. Because we used the lawn care as a ministry just to help out the widows, and then all of a sudden God took it and it exploded the business, and then after that I just kept digging and searching, like there has to be more. There has to be more to my calling of being a minister, and in this ministry, and I always loved sports. Each season it was impactful because you got baseball season in the spring, in the summer you've got off season and training, then you got 2 days in training camp for football. I mean, every season I just loved it. And then did track, did football, and then I just wanted to see what I could do with the sports industry because I always loved coaches. Every coach I've talked to growing up, they made an impact on my life, and I was like, man, let me do this. Let me go out and try to see if I can go talk to them. And I was searching and searching while I was mowing, and then whenever we were at a previous church, I was wanting to dive in more into FCA. So I was searching for FCA. And then all of a sudden, Lord behold, boom, it popped up. Because all the other jobs were like all sporadic all around the different areas of the state. And this one popped up. So then after that, I went home. After this one popped up, went home and showed it to Brittany. No hesitation. She said, do it. Showed it to Braden. He said, do it. I'll allow y'all to figure it out. Who was the one that was hesitating? It was me. And then after that, I was just like, okay, let me pray about it. Whatever. And then, Lord behold, I said no. I said, no, God, I'm the one that's sole provider for the family, and blah, I'll let you take the rest is history. And then after that, wow, I went on a mission trip, and then God took a missionary, spoke, and he said, if you got Jesus, why do you need to be afraid? The only thing I was afraid of is wanting to actually commit and follow him. And then
So it wasn't about providing for your family. It was more personal than that.
Yes, it was very personal. And then whenever he said that, he goes, if you got Jesus, why do you need to be afraid? I looked right at Brittany, and the floodgates were open. She automatically knew. She goes, it's FCA. You've been called. I said, absolutely. And that's whenever I texted Josh, and I said, when can we talk? And then he said, any day that ends with a Y.
So that's Sunday, Monday. I guess that's all of them then.
Yeah, I was open and available for conversation.
Oh yeah,
so.
then we talked, and then, but prior to that, within that time frame of whenever I wanted to do FCA and to actually felt that call, everything in lawn care was struggle. Equipment was breaking. All the above you can happen. It did, but there's one particular time whenever I was talking to Josh, I called and talked to him, just ponder and all that stuff. He goes, have you ever thought about wanting to come on to FCA full time? I said, well, I don't know. I just let me think about it and pray about it. And that's during from May to our youth trip was in July. During that time span, he called in June. And that's whenever I was like, well, I don't know. I was like, let me pray about it. And then that's when God took it, and he was like, here you go. And the thing that hurt me the most of wanting to follow him before doing FCA was my pride.
Yeah. I think that's definitely a lot of, I've heard a lot of FCA staff or athletes or coaches with a similar story of almost the hesitation of like, okay, well, I know I'm passionate about this, and if everything was all of a sudden just right there for me, if the financial support was there, if it was all set up and we were good and solid and knew everything, then it would be so easy to say yes. But that's the wonderful thing about the Lord, is he calls us to a place that we can't reach on our own. Of it's full dependency on him to say, you know what, Lord, I'm passionate about this. I know you've called me to this. Now it's time for me to take the steps to walk to that. And it's been great to hear the stories of impact, I know, from your schools, and want to ask about kind of what schools you're in. I do want to note real quick. Josh is going to note real quick.
No, you're going to go say this, and then I want to ask something about what I've been dwelling on. Passage of scripture that often gets misquoted that we're going to jump into here in a minute. Go ahead.
I believe this episode will air on Christmas week. So before we get too far into this conversation, Merry Christmas, everyone.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. I hope Buddy the Elf comes and visits you. I know we had that at our FCA camp. It was a blast. Buddy the Elf and Santa.
Oh, yes.
Man, we're thankful for you. We're thankful for
Yes, we are.
your viewership and your listening. The week we're recording this, my Spotify Wrapped came out, and
Okay, time out. What age were you?
I was 23, my exact age. It gave me. I'm an appropriate
23
age.
appropriate age. So
Yes.
I'm 46, and it says my age was 18.
Oh,
There
wow.
we go. There we go.
Did you have Beyond the Huddle?
My 13-year-old daughter, her age was 46.
Wow.
Oh, so you are opposite.
She listens to my type of music,
That's
and I'm
so
listening.
interesting.
And I'm listening to hers.
Oh.
What are you listening to?
Forrest Frank.
Okay.
Oh, wait.
Well, that makes sense.
There we go.
That makes sense.
Lots of Forrest Frank on my playlist because my third grader and kindergartner control my Spotify most of the time.
Oh, yeah.
I will say I had Beyond the Huddle on my Spotify Wrapped this year and podcast.
Oh,
It was
you
my
listen to
number
podcast?
my number one listen to.
Podcast?
Yeah, my number one listen to podcast.
Well, I listen to my
so-
podcast on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify.
Yeah.
But my Spotify podcast top was Almost Athletes by Dude Perfect.
I
So,
listen- I
Merry
listen to that every
Christmas.
week.
If you haven't heard the Almost Athletes podcast by Dude Perfect,
Yeah, you need to go listen.
you need to
Merry
go listen.
Christmas.
Number one, unplug the phone or plug it up and keep it in another room. Be present where your feet are. Do all the things with your family. Don't worry about scores or emails or phone calls. I mean, if you're on a video, that's great, but God equipped you with an awesome brain where you just shouldn't have to record a video. You know, I was thinking the other day, of all the concerts that I've been to and sporting events, I'll record and I'll do that, but I never go back and watch.
Yeah, I know.
Why do we do that? As if to say that God is, when he created us in our mother's womb, that we don't have the infinite capacity to remember the things we need to remember. We have to record somebody else doing something so we don't forget. But we forget that we recorded it to record it for ourselves. And it's just this big mess, and it just takes up space. And then we feel like we have to have it. So when you're opening presents, just be. just be with your family. Just be with your spouse or be with your significant other. Be with your friends and enjoy and then laugh and see the sparkle and the guests of what's going on. You got this for me or what's in here? I don't know. Just enjoy all the emotions and all the presence of presence or the presence without presence. And the opportunity to give presents, opportunity to receive presents, opportunity to be with friends and family. Enjoy all that time. Don't rush to, if you get a new phone, that's great. If you get a new device or video game or whatever else, that's great. And those are meant to be enjoyed, but not at the cost of spending time with your family and friends.
Yep.
I'm guilty of that. I did that when I was growing up. I get the new 2K or something, run right to my room to go play it.
Well,
What
yeah.
a shame.
So it's like 2K deuces, see your parents, like 2, see ya.
Yep, that's what it is. That's why your Spotify listening age is 13. So
There we go.
you get the lingo.
Yeah, man. And that's what I said later.
Yeah. Well, Merry Christmas from our Central Arkansas FCA team to you. Thanks for listening
Absolutely.
this year.
Glad you're here in 2025 and looking forward to
Absolutely.
all that God's going to do and stories to come up in 2026.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, sorry, getting back on track.
So we'll get to that. So since this is the Christmas podcast, Christmas week podcast, what do you? Let's just talk about it. What do you do as a family? What's your Christmas morning routine? What does that look like?
Brandon, what you got for us?
Oh, man. Well, we do our immediate family, which is Brittany, Braden, Bradley, and Brindley. We do it in the morning of Christmas Day, and then Christmas night we'll go to her parents, and then the following day is my side of the family, Christmas.
Okay, so that's a family things, but what do you do as a family when you wake up in the morning? Like I'm not talking about wake up, brush your teeth, all that type of stuff. I'm talking about when the kids, who's up, how late do you sleep? What do you do?
We hope you do
Presents?
brush your teeth, though.
Oh, yeah, we do.
Hygiene is great. That's the greatest gift on Christmas that most people overlook.
True.
Hygiene is a great gift to give to yourself and to your family.
Exactly. What we do is we sit down in the morning, and then we sing Happy Birthday because it's Jesus' birthday. That's the first thing we do, and then after that, then we have one of the kids go get the Christmas present, and then they divvy it out. And then after that, one at a time, they open their gifts.
So you painstakingly make everybody watch the other person.
Yeah.
They don't all get to open at the same time. They just have to one at a time.
That's what my mother-in-law does. Everybody gets the gift, and then after that, she does the countdown, and then they all open it up. But at ours, we handed all that out individual, and then after that, they'll do Braden, Bradley, and Brindley. But the girls, they open it together.
So you're kind of like the Grinch.
What?
In that you hoard and you withhold, and then your heart grows 3 sizes.
Wow.
And then you give gifts freely.
Pretty much.
Okay. Just want to make sure we're on the same page here.
All right, then. Wow.
I'm so glad we're talking about Christmas. I didn't think that's what today was going to be. So thank you.
Wow.
Yeah, well, I mean, we had to throw it in here. Might as well. My Christmas has looked different since I moved to Arkansas, but traditionally it's me and my immediate family. Now we're adding one more member because I'm about to get married here in a couple months.
That's what I'm talking about.
So she's coming.
No, we're talking about
with
Christmas.
Me. That is what we're talking about.
Christmas.
Christmas. We're going to see my family this year, but we always we kind of have a slower morning. So I've never been a kid that woke up so early to go open Christmas presents. They're gonna be there regardless. So I like to sleep in a little bit. Usually we'll get up, we'll have a nice little breakfast, and then everyone kind of gives the side eye of like, okay, I think it's time to open some presents. And it helps now because
Whoa, so y'all eat breakfast before you open presents?
Yeah.
So when you say slower morning, what's the time frame we're talking about?
I mean,
What time you
I'll
wake
get
up?
up at like my internal clock's a little bit different now since I'm like actually a working adult, but I'll get up at like 8:30, and we'll be opening presents by like 10 o'clock or so. But some point in the morning we open Christmas presents, and then my family, we haven't done this so much recently, but the Muppets Christmas Carol is always traditionally watched on Christmas Eve. So if you haven't seen the Muppets Christmas Carol, it's incredible. Great for the whole family.
Man, you're so old over there.
Yeah.
Wow.
No, it's great. I love the Muppets.
You're a puppet guy?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
which one's your favorite
I
puppet?
grew up in kids' church. Of course, I'm a puppet guy.
Yeah, but I think that Baptist people got away with puppets 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Assembly God's still rocking puppets.
They still
Wow.
live on in some AG churches.
Well,
Shout
let me
out
back
Colin.
up. On Christmas Day, we made a little change since the kids got older. Is my side of the family comes over right around lunchtime, or whatever. We do a brunch on Christmas Day, so we do that with my family, and then it's either Christmas Day that night, or we do it when the time's available the next day to go to her side of the family that night, and we do a big old huge cook.
Yeah, but y'all all live close together in the county.
Right.
Yeah.
That helps.
So I got a question for you. What's your favorite puppet?
on
Muppet.
on the Muppets.
Yeah.
Oh man,
Is it
I
Kermit?
mean, Kermit's kind of a given. I really like Fonzie.
Fonzie?
Is a staple. I really love the Muppets movie, the newer one that has Amy Adams and that other guy from he's been in
Time
some.
out. Whoa. My brain is
Yeah.
exploding right now. Did you go see this in the theater?
I can't remember if I did. You ever heard the song "Am I a Man or Am I a Muppet? Am I a Muppet?"
Is there anyone else listening to this podcast that this is the first time you've ever heard this song?
Hey, we just want to say Merry
Wow.
Christmas,
You
though.
ever seen
Here's
the
your
Muppets
gift.
movie?
This is a gift
This-
that you were not expecting
There
that I
you
don't know that
go.
you need, but you received. So
Go watch the Muppets Christmas Carol, and then after Christmas, go watch the Muppets movie. It's so good.
I'm going to watch that with my family this year, and we'll give you a review whenever
Okay,
we get back
it's
together.
great. It's so funny. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Muppets Christmas.
So, what do you do for?
Yeah,
for
so
Christmas,
since we
Josh?
have young kids in our house, all of our girls, they go upstairs above the garage, and we wrap up the stairway. That way they can't come down, and we know that they're asleep and they're not getting in. So we wrap the hallway to the stairs and make it a solid wall. So
So really, it's
it looks like a present.
It's-
So
yeah.
they have to have bust through. So it's almost like it's a football game. They are busting down the stairs and coming through to everything, and then we make them sit there and look at them and not open them, and we read the Christmas story. We do
wow.
Jesus birthday cake
Oh, y'all
At-
do a birthday cake?
at lunch.
Oh.
We'll do a birthday cake for Jesus, or they will. I can't eat it.
Do you think they focus better on the Christmas story when they're looking at their presents they're about to
I
open?
think that we read the Christmas story because we want to remind them what it is, but it also helps them to wake up a little bit
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
because they're pretty groggy.
So what time do they wake up?
I don't know, 7, 8, whatever. Around that time, whenever they wake up, or you're normally up before them, and then we'll do a light breakfast, French toast or eggs or whatever else, and then normally at lunch I cook steaks. So
Wow.
Coming over to the Adares for
There
Christmas
we
this
go.
year.
yeah, good luck. I have to hop on a reindeer and a sleigh to get down there from Illinois.
It's
so,
true. That's true.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we try to travel most of the time for Thanksgiving, so we can be at home present with our girls during Christmas and hanging out watching TV or Christmas movies. I try to watch James Bond every once in a while, or Die Hard because it's the number one Christmas
I was
movie
gonna
of
say,
all
is Die
time.
Hard a Christmas movie?
Yeah.
I watched it for the first time last year.
And?
What'd you think about it?
It's a Christmas movie.
It is.
Yeah.
Well, it happens at Christmas, so of course it's
It
a
is.
Christmas
Yeah, it
movie.
is a Christmas movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry
So glad that
Christmas.
you've stuck around here with us, and we've been able to help you. So just think about why do you do what you do at Christmas? Why do you? You're old enough. If you're old enough to be listening to the podcast, you're old enough to ask the question why. Why do you do the routines and the traditions that you do at Christmas? Is it because your family's always done it, or somebody told me the other day they continue doing it because it's the way their mom did it, and their mom did it because it's the way their grandma did it, and their grandma did it because it's the way their great grandma did it, and nobody knows why they do it. So why do you do what you do? Especially Zach, as you're thinking next Christmas will not be the same as this Christmas because you'll be married.
Yep.
So be
Lord
think
willing.
be
Lord willing.
kidding.
Oh,
Just
wow.
kidding.
Rachel?
There's
Rachel. I'm
It's-
sorry. I'm sorry he said that. He's having cold feet.
there's
Maybe
your
because it's
Christmas
December and it's
Because
sleeting
it's
outside.
sleeting outside
There you
right
go.
now.
There
My
you go.
feet are freezing.
Okay, that's the only reason we have cold feet. That's good. That's good.
Oh boy. Let's talk about Brandon.
So coming back to Brandon's story, he said something that triggered something I've been reading, I've been researching, I've been studying, mostly about pride, because most of the time we say pride comes before a what?
the fall.
Fall.
Yeah,
Fall.
but that is not what Scripture says. Proverbs 16:18 says this. It says, pride comes before destruction, and an arrogant spirit before a fall. A lot of times we say that pride comes before a fall. Well, we're just going to fall. Well, it's not just a fall. Pride comes before the end. If you're going to have pride, then you're going to reach the end. You're going to be destroyed. An arrogant spirit before a fall. Don't you think? We used to make jokes all the time as kids that I'm 6'10", and growing up when I graduated high school, I was 6'8". So when I learned how to fall gracefully, but on purpose, in the middle of nowhere and be in the middle of the store, and I would just fall because people thought I was stupid and dumb and lanky and uncoordinated and everything else, and that I could just fall. So I was like, and they thought it was funny. So I would fall in the mall, and I would fall all these other places.
Wow.
Wow. Time out. This is the 90s, and people would go to the mall to watch people,
Yeah.
Okay.
and they would go to the mall to watch me.
Okay.
Oh.
Sure.
My friend group, my family would walk about 5 yards behind me to look at all the eyes of people walking around looking at me because I was 6'8" and weighed 200 pounds.
So you just fell over?
No, and so they would just try to come up behind me, and they still do to this day. It's pretty funny. They come up behind me, and they would try to size up to me and see how tall I am and everything else, and just try to sneak up. And I would back up on top of them, and then I would stumble forward and fall. And they're like, "What?" I'm like, "What did you do?" And anyway, I don't do that anymore because I weigh a little bit more, and I've learned that was a great teenage thing to do, and it's not great to do in your 40s. But an arrogant spirit comes before a fall. There's a difference between being arrogant and being proud. People say it's being prideful. Well, we can agree to disagree. It's proud. It's a proud spirit. It's not a prideful spirit. I don't know that prideful is really a word. I've argued with people with that for a long time. It's in the dictionary, but it doesn't sound right. Proud. Mm-hmm. You're boasting. You're proud. Anyway, pride comes before destruction. Well, we say all the time, pride comes before a fall. You're going to fall, you're going to trip up, you're going to do everything. But it's Scripture literally says, King Solomon in Proverbs says, pride comes before destruction, and an arrogant spirit before a fall. Mm-hmm. I think a lot of times we try to make it sound better, make Scripture sound better, that fits our agenda and our way of life better instead of exactly for what it says. So if you take this literally, then it's, if you're proud and if you're full of pride and it's all about you and your direction and what you don't want to do, then it comes to the end and it ends in destruction. Mm-hmm. I think a lot of times, and we feel that in our Christian walk, we feel that in our relationship with Jesus, and you two are wise enough and smart enough here that y'all can correct me. If you're listening to this on podcast and you disagree, write in. I've given you my phone number. I'll give it to you now. We can have that conversation, 501-743-8857. Reach out to me. But I think we do the same thing in our Christian walk, that it's pride before destruction. Pride leads to destruction. And eventually, it's destruction is hitting rock bottom. It's not the fall down to rock bottom. It's rock bottom. And we have to come to the end of ourselves. And it's when we're at the end of ourselves that we understand surrender. Mm-hmm. And when we understand surrender, then we're fully open to saying yes to whatever God has in store for us.
Yep.
Every one of our lives, we've done that in relationship to Jesus, in surrendering our lives to Jesus, but also There comes a time in our lives where we have to do that in our vocation, whether it be in full-time ministry like Zach and Brandon here with me and all of us on staff as missionaries and Fellowship of Christian Athletes, or if you're you work as a cook in the cafeteria at a local school, or if you're a nurse in a nursing home, or if you're a waste management engineer and you drive a trash truck. You have to surrender that as a believer in Jesus, surrender all of those things to Jesus Christ to use for his glory and not for your own. So, Brandon, I'm glad and I'm thankful that you, it's not always fun. The journey to the point of destruction of yourself, your self-worth, and your identity to become identified with Jesus is not always fun.
I don't know, it ain't.
So what have you learned? What did you learn about yourself in that journey of realizing that you were hanging on, trying to be in control, and God wasn't in control?
Oh, I learned to surrender. That's the biggest one, is learning that he has everything. He's omnipotent and, I'm going to butcher this word, it's omniscient or whatever it's called.
Omniscient?
There we go. That one, he's all-knowing and all-powerful, and he knows what's going to happen. He just wants me to say, follow me. And whenever those two words, it hit me. But the passage that got me the most of just relying on him was the passage of Jairus and his daughter. Everybody knows about that woman with a bleeding problem, and she had such huge, great faith. She said, all I have to do is touch it and I'll be healed. But one thing that stood out to me was that time when Jairus went to Jesus and he felt compassion. But there's a time period where, right there, do you think Jesus ever forgot about Jairus? And I was like, oh, man. Because it's out of, I think it's Mark chapter 9, verses 35 and 36. But the one that really spoke to me is whenever he said, he overheard him. He said, hey, don't even bother the teacher. Don't even bother. Your daughter's dead. While they're celebrating the woman that had the bleeding problem, they're celebrating, is that during that time, he never did forget, because Jesus is fully God. And that's what hit me the most, is like, I need to follow him. And following him doing this ministry of FCA, it has opened up doors I can't even see. And I can't even fathom. I'm just like, how in the world? God, you are crazy. You are crazy awesome. And it just brought me to a new level of relationship that is so intimate with him. That was just crazy.
So I want to ask you, is there a specific moment or time where you faced something difficult? What was that, and how do you feel like the Lord saw you through in that? When you saw some adversity and getting into that aspect of surrender, what did that look like for you on a personal level?
The time of when I was getting started with FCA. Matter of fact, it's when Josh and I went to Des Arc and spoke to get me introduced. That's the biggest adversity. I was like, I don't even know these dudes at all. And the one that really was very hard, but it showed so much love, is whenever they had in Des Arc, when Cash Flanagan, God rest his soul, he committed suicide, and it impacted that whole community. And that whole community, when we showed up, it showed a different level of love. It brought everyone together, and I was part of it, of being there just to see the love. And those coaches, and it saw that God brings everybody together on his terms, not the world's terms.
Yeah.
And that brought adversity to the community, but I got to be a part of it to help restore the relationships of people that haven't seen each other in like forever, or they might have had beef at school. I got to go and say, hey, Jesus loves you no matter what. And so that's one thing, that the adversity that is at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
But then getting it's kind of like the first day at school, getting the newness off. That's the hard for me, is the newness. But then whenever you get the,
What do you mean by that? Get the newness off?
oh boy, the first day of school, everybody gets the jitters, like the pregame, get everybody. And now I get to see, hey, God's in control.
So, okay, talking about pregame, every athlete has their pregame ritual, their pregame routine
Right.
of what they do. What is yours walking into a school? How do you prepare?
One thing,
What are the steps that you take? Because everybody who's listening to this, we all have those jitters of what God's leading us to do or telling us to do or walking into, and we don't know what to do, so we don't do it. So, just real life example, what is your pregame routine, or what do you remember? What do you think about? What do you say? What do you sing? What do you do to prepare yourself for walking into a school to talk to a coach or an athlete?
what I do is I do call a prayer drive. On the way to the school, I pray. If it's 30 minutes, I will pray for the whole 30 minutes. And then during that time, I will shut up.
What are you praying?
Praying for God to show up, and pray for the hearts of the coach or the student athlete that needs to hear the words of you, Jesus. That says, Matthew 11:28 through 30. It says, come to me. It's just trying to get them to do the action of going and coming to him. And that's one thing that I do, is pray. And then whenever I get to the town, I will drive around the whole town to pray for each and every one, for the town, for the mayor, for the police department, and for the fire department, and just pray for the community. And then whenever I get to the school, I'll park, turn it off, and just be and pray for the administrators, the teachers, because they're in the midst of the battle. And then after that, I'll walk in. While I'm walking, I pray for that coach or that student athlete, their hearts to be so fertile that it's already been tilled up before I get there.
Yeah. What about you, Zach? What's your pregame routine when you walk in on campus, or you're about to? What steps do you take?
I think for me, it starts further ahead in my morning. I mean, we're on campus at different times throughout the day. I've been on campus at just about any hour that school is going so far for different things. But for me, it starts in the morning with getting in the Word and really trying to root myself in what the Lord's speaking to me. Right now I'm going through the Bible recap, Bible in a Year plan, and it's been so cool for me to see how God is so faithful and so consistent throughout His Word. And I think that's a good start for me to then be able to kind of get into some prayer time. I also, we just did this in our staff meeting last week, but Josh brought this up, but it was Shane and Shane. They do a devotional every morning. It's actually perfect timing when they send that devotional, because it's right around the time when I'm kind of getting into my morning flow, and it's a great way for me to kind of start my day. But it's a 15 to 20 minute devotional that it's a singing devotional, and you can probably explain it better than I can, but helps me to get into the mindset of, I think for me, sometimes I can struggle with what you're saying about the first day of school. I think to wrap my head around that a little bit more, it's like when you haven't done something before, there can be nerves or uncertainty of what's to come, and so we can get a little bit jittery or forget who we are or what we're called to. And I think when we can root ourselves in who God has called us to be and what He has called us to, it gives us a greater opportunity to then be able to step into whatever setting we're going into, no matter of the circumstances, and say, you know what, Lord, here's what you've called me to. This is what you have called me to. I'm not going to be subject to the ever-changing circumstances of the school and what's going on around me. I'm just going to show up and be present in the areas that you have for me, because I find that whatever school it is that you show up to, the days that I have taken extra time to spend with the Lord before I go in are the days where I see the most fruit in conversations, in opportunity, whatever it is. So, that morning devotional, it's a singing devotional. That's a whole other conversation of worship, and worship is a sum of things and how we give the Lord praise. It's not just singing. Singing is a part of worship, but they do a really good job with that. They actually just had one of the Cotton, I think it was Kobe Cotton from Dude Perfect on there, and I was like, that's so funny. We were talking about almost athletes earlier, but it's a really great way to start your day. You can sign up for text. It's super easy.
Comes across about 7 o'clock every morning. Shane and Shane, I've been listening to Shane and Shane since about 2001, and they were in Little Rock here recently, and we went, and they didn't have a merch store or anything else like that, but they give the gift of, which they have great merch and all those things, but they wanted everyone to have access to the free devotional that they give out. It's 15 minutes every morning, and it's a song, and it's a devotional thought, and it's scripture, but most of all, it's prayer. It's an opportunity for someone that you don't know to pray for you. I think that's the biggest thing of just a routine. I challenge athletes before the pregame, spend time praying. Take your headphones off and sit and be still. And like Zach said, remember who God has called you to be. Remember your identity and who you are, and play through that, and play with that importance, and play with that frame of reference. So when you, like football season, state championships in Arkansas, this week is happening for most of the classifications. When you hear this, you'll know who the champions are, but when you literally get hit in the mouth or you get knocked on your back, who do you stand up as? Do you stand up as a victim or the victor because of who Christ has already declared you to be?
Right.
For me, when I just to round out the triangle here, whenever I show up on campus, I listen to music. I listen to music on the way, and a lot of times I listen to a song from 1998 by the David Crowder Band.
Oh yeah.
And it just says "Come and Listen," and it's not one of their louder songs. It's a quieter song. It leads me to the point of remembering who God has called me to be, as to who I am. It's not based off of my situation or anything else that's going through or my environment. It's who I am on the inside that is the most important. So when I roll into a campus, or I roll into an administrator's office, or a meeting to talk about finances and how people can support, which is the most unnerving thing in the world, second to making a phone call. And we psych ourselves out so bad about the phone call. The meeting is actually easier than the phone call sometimes. But the words of David Crowder's song, the band's song, "Come and Listen," says, "Come and listen, come to the water's edge, all you know and fear the Lord. Come and listen, come to the water's edge, all you who thirst, come. Let me tell you what he has done for me. Let me tell you what he has done for me. He has done for you. Come and listen to what he's done." And it's just a good reminder for me of the people I'm about to walk into. Brandon says he prays for people. Zach says he remembers his identity and what God has called him to be and who he is in Christ, what Christ has made him to be, and then he operates out of that. I pray for myself. I pray that when I walk on campus that God's voice is louder in my head than my judgment of other people. Because based off their environment, based off of their emotions, based off their body language, based off of everything else, I can come up with a pretty good idea myself, but it may not be exactly what God is leading me to say or to do. And then just to have the courage to walk in that.
Yep.
And the courage to walk up to a coach who may not even be on my radar, on the side, just hanging out in the back, just walk up, "Hey, coach, how are you? How can I serve you? How can I pray for you?" Which most coaches who don't know you, don't know that we're a ministry or we're missionaries and we're a missionary of the gospel of Jesus Christ to them, they're going to not know. They're going to take a couple steps back. That's not what I expect you to say. How can I pray for you? Well, how can I pray for you? And then As I've talked with you too, and everyone else on our staff, and everyone that I come to who works in FCA, if they tell you, or anybody, if they tell you how you can pray for them right then and there. Who cares what's going on? They told you for a reason. Pray on the spot. Put a hand on them. Wrap an arm around them. If you have a little bit of oil in your pocket, you can anoint them with oil and pray. And pray for the Spirit of the Lord to minister to them in a real way and answer their need and answer their prayer and be real. So
We have the opportunities. They're out there
100%.
every single day.
And it's not just us, full-time, paid Christian staff.
Yeah.
It's as a believer in Jesus. That's our job description.
Yeah.
And whenever you pray for them, you talking about a weight lifted off of them, and you talk about chip away of their heart.
You got a story like that you can share?
Oh man, which coach do you want?
You got a story like that in Des Arc?
Got one. There's a coach that at the beginning, whenever the pregame, you know how we got the jitters and all that stuff. I had so much respect for these coaches because I had a particular coach that demanded discipline and all that growing up. For the awesome Coach Myhelm. I mean, I wouldn't want to play for anybody else other than him, but it allowed me to go to the coach boldly and say, "How can I pray for you?" It took over and over and over until one day he goes, "Okay." And then after that he just opened up, and then right there we just prayed, and then you could just see the weight lifted off. And you talk about that relationship and that connectivity. Oh, it was like a brotherhood that I wouldn't want to. You can't put words on it.
How long did it take?
Oh,
You said over and over and over. What's that time
it
frame?
took maybe I'd say about 2 to 3 months, like a whole semester.
So showing up every week.
Every week and asking them, "How can I pray for you? Is there anything I can pray for you about? Anything for the team or for the school?" I just laid it out there.
Yeah.
And whenever he's like, "Oh, I'm good. I'm good." And then "I'm good, huh?" But then eventually he was just like, "Okay." He paused and he said, "Okay, I need you to pray." And right there,
That's awesome.
you talking about oh boy. And then now I text that to every one of my coaches. I have a journal that whenever I text, even in Lone Oak, every school that I get to travel to.
What schools do you travel to?
The schools that I'm blessed to go to is Des Arc, Carlisle, Hazen, and Lone Oak. And get to go to those coaches and ask them, "Hey, how can I pray for you?"
So you actually keep a physical journal of their prayer request.
A physical journal. Like a couple weeks ago, there was a coach from Carlisle. He sends me a text. I asked him, I said, "How you doing, Coach?" And then I said, "How can I pray for you?" He sends me a text that one of their players is having ACL surgery from the previous game. And come to find out, it's one of those star players that was a stud athlete.
Yeah.
And then I was like, absolutely. And what I do is my knees are hurting because I have to lotion them because I write it because I'm on my knees praying. I could take you to the exact spot. It's at the end of my bed, facing the field.
Praise God.
Oh yeah. Now the knees hurt.
I think in what you're saying, the actual posture of like allowing yourself to submit to that, of like when you're on your knees, it's not always the most comfortable position, but it is a position of surrender to the Lord to say, Father, here's where I'm at. Here's what I'm asking for. That's so good. With all of those schools, and I always like looking. We're always trying to figure out and learn our communities and the coaches and athletes that are there and their specific needs in each specific school and community. What have you seen and how have you learned? I mean, in the communities you were in, they're maybe a little bit smaller or a little bit more countryside kind of communities. But how do you feel like your background and growing up, how do you feel like the Lord has prepared you and built you up to be able to minister specifically to the schools that He's called you to?
Oh, yeah. Well, it's been a blessing because growing up in the country in Cabot, it's a hunting town. It's not like a city how it used to, like it is now. Like we used to duck hunt and deer hunt all the time. And whenever I came on staff, I was like, "Hey, Josh, there's some stuff that like North Little Rock. There's some cities, North Little Rock, Jacksonville." He goes, with your background in being a country boy, of wanting to go hunting and fishing and all that stuff, I think you need to go to these towns because you have a better relation because you know how to." And then once we start and talk about duck hunting and all that stuff, finding stuff what they love to do, they're just like, they look at you and they're like, "Wow, this dude really does care about me." Like Des Arc, Lone Oak, and all those towns, they love duck hunting. They can tell you every season. They can tell you the date, exact time. Hey, tomorrow is turkey season, or crappie season's about to pop. I'm like, well, crappie season's every day, but you just got to find the right hole. And they're like, what? I'm like, yeah, you just got to find the right hole and all that. And then
They're talking about spawning.
yeah. Then they talk about deer hunting.
Do you know what that is, Zach?
No. This goes back to our whole conversation about is bass fishing a skilled sport or not, which we already answered.
Hold on. Is it competitive?
Heck yes,
yeah, it is. Yeah,
Oh, it's a sport.
Yeah. If you want to go, we talked all about bass
wish-
fishing at one point, and there's a whole conversation on
I just
it.
wish they'd make duck hunting a sport.
Yeah.
They try to. It's called Mallard Masters.
What?
Yeah.
I never heard that.
Mallard Masters? Is it out of Augusta?
I never heard that. I'm glad they got
They
trap shooting.
register and they go shooting for one day, and whoever fills the limit, and certain species of ducks have certain points, and they accrue, and they have a big banquet at the end and give awards.
Oh man, there we go. I gotta go learn about that.
All of that to say, to wrap this back around to what you're saying is that your background and the things that you've gone through in your life and the gifts and abilities that you have and the interests that you have are catered to the students and the coaches that you're around. And now that doesn't need to be the case for every single coach and every single athlete. We're all unique and we're all different and we're all gifted in different ways. But I think there is so much more impact. I was just out of school yesterday and spent a few hours with their basketball team, and we get done, finish after practice, and there was like 10 kids trying to shoot on the shooting gun in the gym. And coach looks at him and says, you could get up 5 times as many shots if you all spread out and rebound for each other. So I go rebound for one of these kids, and he's shooting for a while, and he starts to get tired. And so I'm like, all right, how about you and I switch off about 20 shots. Well, I come out there. I played high school basketball. All I did was shoot threes. Like, I played basketball every once in a while, so I made a few shots in a row. I could tell this kid, his eyes started to open up a little bit, and he's like, okay, what he's telling me is actually the pointers that he's trying to give me, they're actually valid because he can do this a little bit too. Now, I never played college basketball. I didn't go to the NBA, but I love basketball, and I love to be able to teach it and learn more about it. And that student, I think, is a similar example of what you're saying with when we can engage with coaches and athletes on a level where they're interested, you automatically break down a wall when you can engage someone with,
absolutely.
I don't know anything about hunting deer or shooting ducks or this or that, and I plan to learn that someday here in the great state of Arkansas. I need to go out and do that someday.
Oh, yeah.
But all that to say, when we can engage on a different level, take the time to really say, okay, what are you interested in? What do you like to do? How can I invest in you? There's so much power in that.
That's absolutely it. It's because you are showing, you are giving up your pride to ask them, and giving up, like what Jesus did, of asking questions, because he was the awesome question asker. And so that's what we get to do. And then now I go into these schools and I ask them, I'm like, hey, do you know what tomorrow is? They're like, oh, yeah, it's such and such time, or we got game day, or they talk. Whenever you get on their level and you find out what interests and find out what they love, it has that huge impact of being that bridge builder you can bridge the gap.
Yeah, definitely. That's so cool. I love the different opportunities and different communities that we get to serve. There are such a wide range in the 5 counties that we serve in.
Oh, yeah.
Every school is so different, and every community is so different. And I mean, we've talked about this a ton on staff, and I know Josh could speak to this a lot more too, but just how the Lord has grown our FCA staff and continues to do that, of specific people coming on staff, not that we were searching for them, but that God placed them right here for a specific reason and for a specific time. It's so cool just how he ordains those specific lives to join and the specific time too, because God doesn't work on our timeline or our timetable. He's not bound to time, so why would he limit himself to something when he is God all-powerful and omniscient? Is that how you say it? Omniscient.
There we go. I told you I'd butcher it. I ain't good at language. It's not my forte.
It was the right word, but yeah, that's been a really cool thing to see. I'm sure, Josh, you got more to say about that.
Yeah, we're gonna wrap up. Time come to a close, but I'm just super thankful for you.
Oh, I'm thankful because I'm new. Whenever you ask that question, it's like I can picture it right now. I know we're about to wrap up, but I could take you to the place, and I could probably estimate the time that you was telling me, but I could take him to the place where he asked me that. I could take you to the exact location of where he asked me to come on, and would you be willing to give up your lawn care business full time to come on here on FCA staff full time? And it's weird.
Just thankful for your obedience. You've been on staff full time for
February will be 2 years.
Yeah, it's a year and 9 months right now. I just looked it up. Everybody who's coming on staff, I have not recruited or headhunted, just presented an opportunity, and they say yes to come. So it's a great gift. It's a great blessing, so thank you. Just like Jesus came as the greatest gift of the world. As it is Christmas week when this is airing, it's through Jesus coming to this world to live as a human through a baby just like everybody else. He wasn't hatched. He wasn't anything else. He born of a Virgin Mary to grow up as a normal human, to feel what we feel, to think what we think, to do what we do, but live a perfect life. That way he could become the atoning sacrifice for our sins one day when God saw it as the right time to pay the price for our sins. And that's why we celebrate Christmas. It's not Santa Claus, it's not presents, it's not family time, but we all gather to remember Jesus. He is the reason for the season. And so Merry Christmas, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us this week on the FCA, Central Arkansas FCA podcast, Beyond the Huddle, where faith meets competition. Enjoy time with your family and faith, and help Christmas not to be a competition. We'll see you next week.